It was in front of this laundromat last month where one young girl's night was turned into a nightmare after police say she was approached by a 25-year-old male, punched in the face, and then robbed. Now, after scouting the surrounding areas and the front door, the two men decided to go in through this alleyway to climb in through the windows right above me. Today is one of the biggest shopping days of the country, and we've all heard the horror stories of Black Friday. However, most of the shoppers we spoke to out here told us they were surprised just how calm most of it was. I left this sink running, so it's been going for about 45 minutes now, and the water is just as cold, if not colder, from when I first turned it on. Keep in mind, it is well into the evening, but this mall is just as active as if it first opened. Fortunately for the rest of us, Sony did release the film online for sites like Google Play and YouTube, so you could watch it at home and save the trip to the local theater. Pamela Pimentel had just left her home that she shared with her husband and was making her way to work to the BP on Webster Avenue when tragedy struck. And there you go, the doors have finally opened. Now, it may still be Thanksgiving Day, but that didn't seem to stop these early shoppers from coming in to beat the Black Friday rush. Apart from the biblical imagery that the window depicts, it also features some prominent figures from the church's history. For example, this face on the closest end to me is that of former pastor Reverend George Thomas. I do feel a bit overdressed. Now, today is definitely a spectacle, but it's all going towards a good cause. Camp Sunshine, which helps families and their ill children through the various stages of their illnesses. Now, the theme of today's event is fulfilling the dream. That's meant to represent the community, the cops, and the church all coming together. The developers did follow all the rules by the book in terms of setting up the foundation, which is why it is 100% complete. Now, it's not just the pastries people line up for. They tell us these gift items fly off the store shelves as well. Today's fair is part of the National Sudden Cardiac Arrest Awareness Month. Now, the goal here is to teach all these people these vital life-saving skills. It is quite a celebration for the Jewish Service for the Developmentally Disabled today. 10 years in going for the Way Center, and to kick things off, they're honoring a woman with a heart of gold with their own golden heart while displaying a new art exhibit that was 1 year in the making. As the president, how do you feel seeing it all come together?
I feel very proud. This is beyond my expectations.
7 years ago, when we first started coming, there were gang initiations going on in the handball courts. Like, people were beating each other up, initiating kids into whatever gang they were in, and you really don't see that anymore.
James Manello and the players of Brooklyn Roller Hockey call this roller rink in DeGilio Playground home. This rink is only one of the 4 rinks in our borough. They, along with many children who also play in the space, risk losing the rink if Councilman David Greenfield of Kensington's proposed expansion of the playground is approved.
I've been coming here since I'm 14 years old, and it's a great workout for the guys. We keep the neighborhood safe, we clean up the rink, we keep the maintenance on the rink.
The councilman chose this space because he believes it's not being utilized, and he looks to add amenities like a rock climbing wall and a fitness area. The players suggest building on the bleachers instead, as those do remain unused and only attract illicit behavior.
We have an NHL franchise coming to Brooklyn next year, and there's no reason to rip this down.
We just want to keep a hockey rink.
Now, when they went to the Parks Department for help, they were recommended to come to this rink on Fort Hamilton Parkway. The only problem is they have just as much access to it as I do. Neighborhood children also frequent the park, and Manello and his team actually plan to rework the rink to double as a soccer field. Fortunately for them, Councilman Greenfield's renovation plan is still awaiting government approval, so they may have time before they have to score their last goal. In Kensington, Enzo Domingo, News 12, Brooklyn. This is a traditional West African song usually sung in celebration of Kwanzaa. Singing was only a small portion of what was going on here at Kumbe, the Center for African and Diaspora Dance on Fulton Street, in honor of Kujichagulia, the principle of self-determination.
We're going to be looking at the history of Kwanzaa. We are going to light our Kinara and light all of the 7 candles. We're going to discuss all of the 7 principles.
Dancer and author Iris Wilson wasn't hosting your typical history lesson. As Kumbe is a dance studio, everyone was expected to be on their feet, like for the traditional harvest dance from Guinea called Kasa.
I'm more into like the modern things, but because I didn't learn about the African dances, I kind of like it a little more now.
Wilson hopes that through today's celebration, attendees can go into the new year understanding the importance of Kwanzaa and carrying on its 7 principles through their daily lives.
It's their history, it's their culture, and they don't read it or hear it annually throughout the year. It's just at the holiday time, so this is a good opportunity for them to learn.
In downtown Brooklyn, Enzo Domingo, News 12, Brooklyn.